Welcome, beautiful, to the Creating Change podcast with Emma Bradford. Creating change to fall back in love with ourselves and life. Each episode, I'll be offering insightful stories, concepts, and practical takeaways to inspire your day, reconnecting to the authentic essence within. Are you ready, lovely, to embrace yourself even more and awaken to the magic life has to offer? Let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of Creating Change with Emma Bradford. Thank you so much for joining me, listening to this episode. Thank you. Now, in this expansions message, if you haven't heard the previous expansions messages, you can go back and listen to those. I explain a little bit more about where these come from. Essentially, they come from my own personal practice. So when I'm tuning in to that all-loving part within, and I write down the messages that come through. I write down these words of loving guidance that come through to help me personally. And I thought so many of these messages would be useful and helpful for others too, which is why I share it on this podcast. So you're getting a little intimate sneak peek into what arises in my personal practice. I do share much more on my emails each month. If you're not signed up to those, I do recommend that you sign up to that. I only send one email a month, so I don't believe in sending loads and loads of emails, just one a month, and you get many more messages coming through into your inbox to inspire your day. Now, in this particular message for this episode, it's all about how we can transform our challenges into wonderful possibilities and opportunities. I do have other episodes that touch upon this, so you can go back and listen to those. I will link some of those in the show notes. And in this episode, it's just a simple little message just to really connect to the possibility, connect to the new, and connect to the gifts from that. To breathe consciously and deeply is to enter the very existence of life itself. To breathe is to be in the dance of polarities, the space between polarities. You know when you are truly alive, when you recognize the life. You know when you are truly living, when you give thanks to the miracle of life. To be in this human existence takes courage through the twists and turns, one lesson at a time, one setback at a time, letting go of what once was, open up to new perspectives and possibilities, and doors will continue to open in leaps and bounds. Turn your setbacks into your greatest work of art that you have ever created. That is being the alchemist of your life, to transform the mud into gold, one thought at a time, one step forward at a time. So when you hear that, what comes up for you? What do you notice? Were there any words or phrases that stood out in particular? Just take a moment to reflect on that. How you can be the alchemist in your own life, how you can transform the mud into gold, as the message was saying, how you can transform setbacks into these wonderful works of art. How can you see setbacks as an opportunity? How can you see something that's challenging as an opportunity? One very famous phrase is saying that life happens for us, not to us. So what's the gift? What's the opportunity? What is life inviting you to expand to? I talk about this in a previous episode. Life is constantly opening up doors, constantly giving opportunities. Are we noticing that? Or are we continuing to bury our head in the sand? So if you're going through a particular challenge at the moment, ask yourself, how can you transform this? How can you use this as a stepping stone forward rather than a brick wall? And if all you do is come back to the breath, To breathe is to enter the very existence of life itself. To breathe is to be in the dance of polarities and the space between polarities. Coming back to that now, even just taking an inhale and exhale when you're in the midst of a challenge can be incredibly helpful, because not only do we deepen our breath, so our breath, and we get more oxygen, therefore more oxygen for our brain to think clearly, though also it helps to calm everything down. It really helps to reduce anxiety. It helps us to really center ourselves back in within the body, rather than being focused in the mind and all the stories of the mind. And it helps us to reconnect, to remember this essence of life that's within, this inhale, this exhale, that's always there. So that could be a simple practical tips to go back to that. And if you want to journal in your notebook, you can explore what opportunities, what gifts, any challenges offering you right now, how you can turn your current setback into your greatest work of art. There's no right or wrong with this. It's simply about the exploration, the unfolding. So tap into that curious mindset, that loving, curious mindset. I wonder, what gifts can you uncover? Thank you so much for listening to this episode, beautiful. You're amazing. All resources and links can be found on my website, www.emmabradford.net. Link is in the show description. Do come and join my community and share your takeaways from this episode. I'd really love to hear. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time, I wonder, what magic will you experience in life today?